What's up everyone, me JP2 here, and well, in today's video, we have level 50 Greninja in the Master League. Now you guys seem to like when I bring the level 50 Pokemon into the Master League, and I also enjoy it, because it's kind of fun to bring these things, because despite having a low combat power, if they're anti-meta, they can still do pretty good, and that's how Greninja fared. The thing actually beats a lot of stuff. Like, it beats like Ho-Oh and Groudon and stuff as long as there's shields in play. And it also like crushes Mewtwo and Solgaleo. So I think it's pretty good. Now, this thing I still probably wouldn't recommend it, just because it's extremely glassy. But I was still able to have some fun with it, and I even got a 5-0 set with it. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Let's get into the battles. Alright, so hopping into the first battle, and we lead Greninja into Hydreigon. This is a pretty bad lead, so I'm just going to immediately switch out into Togekiss. And the opponent responds with Lugia. Now, Lugia is not really a response to Togekiss, because we do double resist the Dragon Tails, and we will live in Aeroblast, I believe. So if they go for the Aeroblast, it still won't take us out, and they're going to have a really hard time farming us down with Dragon Tail. Aeroblast connects, but Togekiss does not get taken out. We make it to another Ancient Power. Ancient Power will take him out from this range. The opponent chooses to let it go. The opponent is then going to send in Mewtwo, and this is perfect. Greninja just annihilates Mewtwo. They switch back into Hydreigon, but there's just not much they can do anymore. I can commit both shields on this Dragonite matchup, because Greninja, as long as the Mewtwo doesn't have a move that hits Greninja for super effective, then Greninja usually can just beat them even when they're down 2 shields. The opponent does just bring in the Mewtwo, and they win CMP, so I do lose all my energy, which is unfortunate. But since I have a 2 Water Shuriken advantage, I should be able to just take them out, even with them having 2 shields. Now they're going to throw a move here, and if it's not a Focus Blast, we should be able to tank it. They just go for a Side Strike, and that does not do much. Now I'm going to be able to go for a Night Slash, and the opponent does just commit the second shield. I will be able to make it to a third Night Slash now. This Night Slash will do some nice damage to Mewtwo. It won't take him out, but it does get him pretty low. They're going to go for another Side Strike, but Greninja still lives that, and we live the next 2 Psycho Cuts. We make it to I lost count of the Night Slash, I'm going to be honest, like the 4th or 5th. We take out the Mewtwo and we take that game. We see a very good lead in the next battle. We lead Greninja into Groudon. Opponent immediately switches out into Kyogre, and I bring in Dragonite. Now, Dragonite just destroys Kyogre, and they're going for a move here. Surf will not threaten us, and I'm just going to keep farming. My hope is that if I can let this Surf go through, it'll give them false hope that they can just commit both shields and farm down. But even if they can do that, Togekiss still is good against Groudon, and I don't think they will be able to. I go for a Dragon Claw, they shield it, and I'm going for another Dragon Claw. The opponent just lets it go though, and one more Dragon Breath takes him out. They then send in Mewtwo, and I can go for a third Dragon Claw into this Mewtwo. Now, it does look like their remaining Pokemon are completely core broken by Greninja, so I'm hoping I can get a Greninja sweep here. Now, I don't have to shield this thing from the Mewtwo. Side Strike doesn't even get us into the yellow. Now, I'm going to go for a Night Slash. Night Slash will come pretty close to taking him out. I don't think it takes him out at this range, though, but they commit a shield. They then throw straight away, and I get a free Water Shuriken because of that. Now, I'm going to throw another Night Slash. This Night Slash actually could take him out. I undercharge it a bit, but it still takes him out. In the back, the Groudon's still there, and the Groudon's just not going to be able to do much. Now, I'm going to be able to go for just a couple Water Shurikens, make it to another Hydro Cannon, and they throw here. Thing is, Fire Punch still doesn't take out Greninja, and we're going to be able to win with a shield in play, as Greninja takes out the Groudon, and we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Greninja into Metagross. This is an extremely good lead, because we do tank a Meteor Mash, albeit not very well, but we still should not be able to be put into farm down range by it. Now, we will lose Charge Attack priority on the next move, but it's fine. Meteor Mash won't take us out. If that was a Shadow Metagross, I'd have to consider shielding, but since it's a regular, we don't have to shield. I'll be able to make it to a Night Slash, but the opponent tries to snipe with Zarude, but that works extremely against them because they're going to get hard walled by Togekiss, and Greninja leaves with a Night Slash. So now if they bring back in the Metagross, they'll be threatened by an Aura Sphere, and if they have to commit the shield on the Aura Sphere, then Night Slash will just take them out. They send back in the Metagross, and I'm going for an Ancient Power here. This is a pretty questionable decision. I don't know why I did it. I was pretty sure that they were just going to shield anyway, so I was thinking maybe I can make it to a second Ancient Power. I obviously don't, but it's fine. Now, Metagross will be able to go for a Meteor Mash, and that will grab my shield. But Dragonite up a shield is pretty good no matter what they have in the back, as long as it's not a hard wall to Dragonite, like a fairy or something. In the back, though, it's Kyogre, and yeah, this game's over. We can just completely farm him down if we want, or we can go for a Dragon Claw. I will shield the move just to be safe. I don't want to get hit by a Blizzard, but I don't even think they were at a Blizzard there. But I'm going to go for one Dragon Claw, and I'm going to go for another Dragon Claw. This Dragon Claw will take out the Kyogre. Kyogre falls to the Dragon Claw, and we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Greninja into Ho-Oh. This is a pretty good lead, but since one Hydro Cannon doesn't take him out, the problem is that they can just go for a Brave Bird and dip. They actually commit a shield though, which is perfect, and I'm going to be able to make it to a second Hydro Cannon. It looks like they're just trying to farm up to a Sacred Fire to try and bait, and they commit both shields. Now, I am just going to shield this. I don't care. Sacred Fire would still probably take us out, and the opponent tries to catch onto a Giratina. Thing is, we still have Night Slash, so Giratina's still not in the best matchup here. Now, they're going to throw a move here. I am going to shield, and I should be able to throw one Water Shuriken and have back-to-back Night Slashes to throw into the Giratina. Now, this Night Slash still won't take him out, but it does get him into the yellow. Now, I do throw a Water Shuriken. I try to throw on good timing, but they make it to a Dragon Claw. This is unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter because Giratina still doesn't have too much play into my backline either. Dragon Claw will not be taking us out, so it doesn't even put us into the yellow, actually. And I'm going to throw a Dragon Claw as they switch into Ho-Oh. Now, Dragon Claw will do some nice damage, and the opponent does have a move here. Now, if they go for the Brave Bird, then they'll debuff their defense, which is just fine, because Togekiss will farm them down before they make it to another move. And in the back, oh no, it's Groudon. And we will live 2 Fire Punches here. And since we have a pretty significant energy advantage, we're just going to be able to make it to an Aurosir. Aurosir should be doing some very nice damage into the Groudon, and the Giratina is way too low. Just need to keep enough HP that one Shadow Claw doesn't KO here, and it'll be fine. Aurosir nearly takes out Groudon, one Charm takes him out, and we farm down the Giratina, and we're able to take that game. Hopping into the 5th battle of the 5-0 set, so yeah, this battle's a win, but it's kind of obvious considering the lead, but we lead Greninja into Mewtwo. Extremely good lead. Night Slash will not even put them into the yellow health, but the Water Shurikens should be getting them into a range where another Night Slash will take them out. Side Strike doesn't do much, and this Night Slash will get a shield or just get them extremely low. They shield, and I make it to another Night Slash before the Mewtwo even makes it to another move. So now they're going to have to double shield if they want to get this move off. I am going to shield because Shadow Ball might take us out from this range. The opponent sends in Togekiss trying to snipe or something, but I can bring in my own. It looks like it's 2 Shundo Togekiss, and I'm going to overfarm and win CMP. Now, this was a coin flip CMP because we both have the same attack stat, but since I win it, I get the farm down with the Ancient Power, and I keep my shield. Now, this is perfect. I am going to shield this move just in case they have a dragon in the back, because if there is a dragon in the back, I do want to get some charms off on it. In the back, it's Giratina Origin, and I will make it to an Ancient Power. Ancient Power will not be doing much of anything into Giratina, but it's fine, we just need the charm damage. I then switch into Dragonite, and Dragonite takes this game for us. They go for an Ominous Wind, it's not going to take us out, and we'll be able to make it to another Dragon Claw. Dragonite does win CMP here. I'm not sure if that's because of leveling, or if like the Giratina's underleveled or something, or if it's just like how it works, but we take that game. We then also get the 5-0 set, which is amazing, as I was trying to climb Elo here. Hopping into the next battle, we lead Greninja into Shadow Metagross. Now, I did mention before that Greninja can't tank Meteor Mash from Shadow Metagross. I can get to back-to-back Night Slashes, and this will be right before they make it to a Meteor Mash, but we will lose CMP. The opponent actually overfarms, and we get a boost. So now we're going to force the shield from them because they want to keep this energy. This means I can safely shield in return, and I'll be able to easily make it to another Night Slash before they make it to another move. This Night Slash will get the KO, so the opponent does just let it go through, and we get another boost. Now, unfortunately, they bring in Shadow Dragonite, so we won't be able to see a boost in Night Slash land, but we will be able to grab a shield with it. Now we send in Togekiss, and the opponent probably running Steel Double Dragon or something, as they concede the match. We lead Greninja into Excadrill in the next battle. This is a very good lead because we outpace them by 1 turn to the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon, I think, is very close to one-shotting. It might not, but grabbing the shield as soon as possible is best because it does mean that we'll be able to get them into Hydro Cannon range with Water Shurikens. Now I'm baiting with a Night Slash because it's a pretty easy shield for the opponent, and I want to get a boost. The opponent sends in Sylveon. I bank the Hydro Cannon. I feel like it's going to be useful eventually, and if they have Mewtwo in the back or something, then that Night Slash will be nice because Even if Mewtwo can win CMP with a Psystrike, I don't think my Greninja is in Psystrike range yet. I get a full farm down of Togekiss though, and in the back, well, it's Mewtwo, so I guess I was right. Now, this Ancient Power will do some nice damage, no boost unfortunately, but we'll be able to go for another Ancient Power. This will get the Mewtwo below half health, and it will get them into Night Slash range. I try and snipe with the Night Slash, but unfortunately, Togekiss gets KO'd. I just send it in, lose CMP on the Psystrike, but Greninja tanks the Psystrike, and this Night Slash will take out the Mewtwo, and we do get a boost, but unfortunately, since the Excadrill has energy, it's pretty useless, but our Dragonite can just clean up this matchup, because even though it's a Dragon type into a Steel type, Rock Slide will not one-shot us, so we'll just be able to go for Superpower. Superpower will easily take out Excadrill from this range, and we'll be able to take that game. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Greninja into another Ho-Oh. This is a Purified Apex Ho-Oh, and the opponent sends in Yveltal. Now, this is very good for Togekiss, because even if they're running Oblivion Wing still does not two-shot Togekiss, so I can safely no-shield the second one as well. It also reduces the farm for whatever the opponent brings in afterwards. As you can see, we're barely able to tank it. The opponent sends in Dialga though, and we don't get the Aura Sphere off, so this is not looking good. Like, all of a sudden, this looks terrible. On the bright side, Dragonite should be able to make it to 2 Dragon Claws, and so Dragon Claw number 1 does actually grab a shield, and the opponent will throw a move here. I have to shield because Greninja just gets fully Dragon Breath down by Dialga, I think. The opponent tries to catch on to Ho-Oh. I realized they switched here, but I needed to get some chip damage so that a Hydro Cannon would KO. Now I'm going to throw a Hydro Cannon here, and I do realize that Hydro Cannon actually does not KO here, which is not good. The opponent will make it to a move here. I'm pretty sure they're just going to go for Sacred Fire, because they're going to fish for a debuff. And while I do get a farm down and leave with a ton of energy, that attack debuff is not good. It's just going to mean that Night Slashes will not be able to take them out very fast, as they have a shield. So I need to make it to 2 more Night Slashes to take them out. We can actually grab a shield, and if we had gotten a boost, that would have been a win. But if we don't get the boost, I go for another Night Slash, and I need to make it to another one. And we fall just short. We get KO'd right as we make it to the Night Slash. Dialga leaves with an Iron Head. Dragonite is taken out, and we do lose that game. We see Lugia on the lead in the next battle. And while this is a Dark type into a Psychic type, the stat product total difference here actually does just mean Greninja hard loses this, unless we get a boost. So we're going to go for the Night Slash, and we actually do grab a boost, so that's nice. Greninja does actually somehow win CMP against Lugia, and we actually grab a shield with the Night Slash. So that does mean I can just shield in return. That's pretty good, honestly. Now, I'll be able to make it to another Night Slash, but I choose to overfarm by 1. Now, that extra Water Shuriken could be nice, eventually. I'm going to go for Night Slash, and the opponent catches the next Night Slash onto Groudon. Now, the thing is, they can't farm down here without me making it to another Hydro Cannon because of how dang spammy this thing is. Hydro Cannon will take him out from this range, so the opponent has to shield. I then send in Dragonite, just completely walling the Groudon. That's why I was comfortable staying in, because I knew that whatever energy the Groudon got did not go anywhere. They don't even make it to another move after the Precious Blades. And while they do send back into Lugia, 1 Dragon Claw should take them out from this range. And in the back, it's Mewtwo. This isn't ideal, but Greninja is already gone, which is not good. But with the Dragon Claw, we'll be able to get them pretty low. And I'm just going to no-shield. Togekiss with Charm should be able to just take out this Mewtwo. We farm him down, and we take that game. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Greninja into another Ho-Oh. I was just seeing so many Ho-Oh leads, and Greninja is just feasting on them. The opponent safe switches into Shadow Dragonite, and yeah, Togekiss just destroys Dragonite. The best thing about Togekiss is with Ancient Power, we will be able to just most likely grab a shield from the Ho-Oh if they send it back in. So the opponent actually sends in Solgaleo. Now, this is what I was hunting for with Greninja, mainly. I was just trying to find the Solgaleo and Zygarde cores, because if Greninja is aligned against the Solgaleo and Togekiss is aligned against the Zygarde, the opponent just loses. Now, the Solgaleo goes for Psychic Fangs. I make it to an Ancient Power, and this Ancient Power will get them very low. Now, I'm going to send in Dragonite. I was hoping 1 Dragon Breath took him out, but unfortunately they make it to the Psychic Fangs. On the bright side, I can switch right into Greninja, get the farm down, and have an extra Water Shuriken. The opponent realizes that, and they just leave. We see Avalugg on the lead in the next battle, and that's pretty good. We resist Ice Fang, so hopefully I can get a Night Slash boost by just spamming Night Slash into this Avalugg. I should be going straight Hydro Cannon, but I really want to get a boost, because this is the optimal place to fish for boosts, because we're not going to be able to get much damage taken, so that's perfect. We actually do grab a boost, but Avalanche will get us pretty low. I do make it to back-to-back Night Slashes, and now if the opponent wants to take switch, they have to shield twice. They don't even try, and then they send in a Mudshot Garchomp. Now, this Hydro Cannon, despite being boosted, does considerably little, honestly. But fortunately, we can just destroy the Garchomp with Togekiss. They have Shadow Mewtwo in the back, and yeah, looks like we're just going to win this game. They're just not going to have anything that they can do here, because even though Mewtwo should be able to make it to 3 Side Strikes here, Dragonite will get taken out by it, but Togekiss does not need shields against Garchomp. They don't even make it to another Side Strike, and they just concede the match. We lead Greninja into another Excadrill in the next battle. And this is an amazing lead, as we've seen. The opponent then sends in Gyarados. I'm going to farm up to 3 Water Shurikens so I can have a move bank, and then send in Dragonite. Now, Dragonite does just wall Waterfall Gyarados, so it's fine. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say wall because they can go for Crunch, but it's fine. I'm going to go for a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw will take out the Gyarados, negating the Waterfall that snuck. And the opponent is going to send in a Shadow Gardevoir of all things. I was not expecting to see that, but on the bright side, the little bit of chip damage that Dragonite gets off does mean that Togekiss can just charm through them. Now, with the even shields, we're still going to be fine. They send in the Excadrill, and I'm fine going straight Hydro Cannon here. Hydro Cannon number 1 actually just gets no shielded. The opponent looking to just Gardevoir sweep or something. But Drill Run will not take out Greninja. One Charm will though, but Gardevoir is just way too low. They can go for a Triple Axle. I'm shielding the Triple Axle. I do not care at all if they go for it. And we're able to take that game while the opponent still has 2 shields in play. We see yet another Ho-Oh lead in the next battle. And this is perfect. Now I'm going to go for Hydro Cannon straight away. The problem is that they can no-shield it and just go straight Brave Bird. And I have to shield because Greninja will get obliterated by Brave Bird. They can then just switch out afterwards, and they send in Dialga. Now, this is not ideal because Togekiss is my best Dialga answer, but down a shield, this is not looking good. I should be able to get a nice Charm farm down, though, because since my Togekiss is level 50, I can tank an Iron Head, albeit not very well. I grab a shield with the Ancient Power, the opponent makes it to another Iron Head. Now, this Iron Head will not take us out, and I actually get farmed down by the Dialga. I can just send in Dragonite, though, and in the back, it's Mewtwo. So I'm going to actually go for the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw will get them into Night Slash range, I believe. So I'm going to switch into Greninja, go for 1 Water Shuriken, and go for the Night Slash. Now, they have energy. They're going to shield here. And I'm actually going to make it to another Night Slash before they even make it, before they even throw a move. Greninja's lightning speed just catches everyone by surprise. The Mewtwo goes for a Side Strike, but we're still not in Incinerate farm down range. We can go for Hydro Cannon, and Ho-Oh will fall to the Hydro Cannon, and we take that game. We see a terrible lead in the next battle. We lead Greninja into Xerneas. Now, despite this being a pretty bad lead, Greninja still is able to make it to Hydro Cannons pretty fast. Now, we're going to get a bit of lag. I don't think it affected their energy generation, though. I don't think they snuck 2 moves or anything. But they don't even throw. We actually make it to another Hydro Cannon. We actually grab a shield from them. That's about as good as it gets. So I'm just going to let this move go through. Close Combat will take out Greninja, and I'm going to send in Togekiss. These Charms will do a lot. The opponent is going to fire off a Moonblast, but Moonblast shouldn't do too much. We get debuffed, which is really unfortunate. And I do make a mistake here. I shield. I thought they had a Glaciate. I was not counting. And then I send in Dragonite. And the Kira makes it to a Dragon Claw, so I've made 2 pretty big misplays in this battle, and it is going to cost me. Now, the opponent is going to wait out their clock, send in Xerneas, and I make a 3rd misplay. I go for a Dragon Claw instead of a Superpower. I didn't want to debuff myself, but I'm not going for the Superpower. They're able to make it to a move. It is just a close combat, but Togekiss is way too low. They have Zekrom in the back, and the only thing that bails me out is an Ancient Power boost. We don't get it, and yeah, we're going to get double resisted Dragon Breath down, so pretty big misplay on my part. They throw a move here, so there might be hope, but I have to go for 1 extra Charm, because Ancient Power would not KO from that range. So I do get farmed down. We then see Zacian on the lead in the next battle, so Greninja's went from winning leads to losing leads. I'm going to throw on 6 Water Shurikens, because I should be losing CMP on the next one, which is fine, because if they go for a close combat, then this Hydro Cannon will take them out. Now, they just go for a Play Rough, I believe, and Hydro Cannon still grabs a shield. Now, we're going to be able to make it to another Hydro Cannon, but I was expecting them to throw here. So, the Wild Charge actually is thrown, and I'm going to go for a Night Slash here, because their defense is debuff. They probably will be shielding it. And I lose CMP. Again, this thing, it's very attack-weighted, but still, it's not very attack-weighted. It just doesn't have a lot of stats, I guess, which is really annoying, but it's fine. Now, they send in Dialga. I will have to tank an Iron Head, but I will be able to throw an Aura Sphere into Dialga. I expect them to catch. They try and catch on the Groudon. We send in Dragonite, and the opponent just leaves because they realize that the Dialga is getting superpowered, so they can see the match. Hopping to the next battle, and Greninja's back to winning leads, so we lead into Ho-Oh. The opponent then switches into Goldengo, so it looks like they're completely core broken by this thing. And to add insult to injury, we get the boost. Now this Night Slash will certainly KO the Goldengo, so the opponent has to shield. Now Goldengo really only learns nuke moves like Shadow Ball and Focus Blast, so I am definitely shielding. Focus Blast gets shielded, and the opponent just concedes the match, realizing that that boosted Greninja would run through their team. We then win another lead with Greninja into Mewtwo. Now, Shadow Mewtwo still, I don't think, two-shots with Psystrike, simply because of how much resistance the Greninja has to it. They then safe switch into Excadrill, and I'm fine with staying in here. I've done enough damage to the Mewtwo where it should be in farm down range for either of my Pokemon, so Greninja can just stay here. Hydro Cannons will do a ton to Excadrill, and I'm going to go for a Night Slash bait, because once again, I feel like this is a pretty secure bait, because they're probably going to shield. They do. And while they do make it to a drill run one turn before we make it to another move, that just gives me extra farm. I can farm up 2 extra Water Shurikens, and this will be able to make me leave with some extra energy, so whatever the opponent brings in is going to be in trouble. Now, they bring in Dialga, and this is all of a sudden looking pretty bad, because I don't really have a good answer to Dialga. Now, I'm going to try and go for the superpower. The opponent throws the Iron Head right before, and I have the superpower. I throw 1 extra Dragon Breath, and they switch into Mewtwo, win CMP, and snipe with a Psystrike, so I lose all of that energy. That's really unfortunate, but on the bright side, this match is still very easily winnable. I will be able to go for a Night Slash into the Mewtwo. Night Slash will take him out, and the Dialga will just get charmed down by Togekiss. We don't make it to another Night Slash, but my Togekiss, since it's fully leveled, easily tanks an Iron Head, and probably also a Thunder. Iron Head doesn't do too much, and we're going to be able to farm him down. We see another Zacian on the lead, and this is pretty bad. Now, I'm going to do the farming up to 6, but the opponent just throws as soon as they get to a move, and if this is a play rough, Greninja still gets annihilated by it. Now, I am going to go for Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon will do some okay damage, but it will not be doing too much overall. Now, the opponent might even shield this one, though, because Hydro Cannon would come pretty close to taking him out. Greninja will lose CMP on the next move, but it's fine. They go for a play rough, and I should be able to outpace them by 1 turn to the next move, so the opponent actually lets it go through. They bring in Dialga, and I have to send in Togekiss because Dragonite gets destroyed by Dialga. Now they're going to go for an Iron Head. Thankfully, Iron Head doesn't take out Togekiss, and I need to be able to get them low enough that Dialga can get farmed down by Dragonite, because if not, they just run through my Dragonite. They actually let the Aura Sphere go through, though, and then they send in Kyogre. So all of a sudden, this is looking very winnable. The Dragon Claw thrown into the Kyogre gets shielded, but the Kyogre is just way too low. And then we catch the move. I was farming up trying to see if they'd go for a Blizzard. We just catch the move, and yeah, there's nothing they can do now. This Night Slash will get them very low, and the opponent just concedes the match. Hopping into the next battle, and we lead Greninja into a Shadow Ho-Oh. This is nice because Hydro Cannon does more, but Hydro Cannon still doesn't one-shot because Ho-Oh is pretty bulky. Now the opponent does let it go through, and they're just going to go straight Brave Bird. Now I am going to shield here because that Brave Bird would easily take us out. The opponent then safe switches into Lugia, and I am going to send in Togekiss. We've seen Aeroblast shouldn't one-hit KO, so this is perfect. Togekiss actually does look like it won CMP there. We go for the Ancient Power, and Ancient Power does some okay damage to Lugia. Now the opponent will go for the Aeroblast. Aeroblast still doesn't take out Togekiss, but they actually grab a boost. Now this is kind of dangerous. We're actually able to make it to another Ancient Power, and Ancient Power does get shielded because they don't want to lose that energy. I go bring in Greninja, and they go for another Aeroblast, and then they switch into Groudon. Now, this is a pretty bad switch on their end. I guess they're trying to catch the Night Slash, but now I just have Hydro Cannons to throw into this Groudon. They shield the first one, but now they're out of shields. The Hydro Cannon does a lot of damage to Groudon, and we can just send in Dragonite. Now, Dragonite will just shut down Groudon, and there's nothing they can do. We're just going to be able to farm down their entire team at this range, so the opponent, I'd expect them to just concede the match, and they do. And we're able to take that game. Overall, this thing actually seems like a pretty good anti-meta pick. Like, it destroys Solgaleo, which is ever-present in the higher ELO Master League. It destroys Mewtwo, which is ever-present in the lower ELO Master League. And it destroys Ho-Oh, and it also destroys Groudon. So it does have some very good anti-meta potential. Now, I still wouldn't recommend building it because it's extremely frail. But if you have shields in play, the thing can put in work. So it's not that bad, in my opinion. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.